This morning, a growing outcry over the shooting death of 37-year-old Alex Preddy by federal law enforcement in Minneapolis, the city's second involving federal law enforcement this month. As protesters react to the multiple videos capturing the scene, the Trump administration is defending the officers. The Department of Homeland Security posting that Preddy, quote, approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun.
When they tried to get him to disengage, he became aggressive and resisted them throughout that process. These officers used their training, followed their protocols, and were in fear of their lives.
We're the president of the Minnesota Gun Owners Law Center to talk about use of force issues and his assessment of some of these cases that we have been following. Rob, thank you so much for joining us. This is now the third federal agent involved shooting in Minneapolis as a result of Operation Metro Surge. We had Renee Good January 7th. There was a man that ICE says they were trying to detain from Venezuela on January 14th, and then this one this morning. So if you could first just, I know there's a lot of video circulating. It's hard to draw conclusions because we don't see what was happening 15 minutes before this or what was happening right in the middle of that huddle. But what are your impressions of this situation so far?
Yeah, initially I was kind of, I had a little bit of skepticism seeing the DHS's initial statement that they made, because they said that the person approached them with a firearm. They didn't say that the firearm was drawn or that, threatened officers or anything like that, just that he had a firearm. And now every video that we've seen seems to indicate that there was no visible firearm at that point. So it's uncertain why there would have been any perception of a threat there. And then, it's very difficult to see what happens in that huddle. But one of the most recent clips that I've seen seems to indicate that prior to the shots being fired, one of the agents who didn't have a firearm in his hand reaches into the huddle, pulls out a firearm, and it matches the photo that DHS put out this morning perfectly. So my take of it is it looks like he was actually disarmed prior to the fatal shots being fired.
Wow, and as you said, there's a lot of angles, and it's hard to tell in that, like at what point did they see the weapon? Is, from what you can tell, any sign that the man on the ground was reaching for his weapon when it was pulled away? Anything like that? Hard to see in there, I know.
Yeah, the newest video angle that I've seen, it looks like that it's got the facing towards the man. Yeah, it's this video right here, and you see his arms are kind of pinned right in front of him as he's on the ground, and then then you see the agent in the gray coat there, who doesn't have a firearm in his hand, reach around and pull out a firearm. So right here, you see it looks like the man's. I think Mr. Preddy's arms are pinned down in front of him. So he's not reaching for his firearm. Both hands are right there. It's difficult to see what happens right in this second here, but we do see that the agent comes back with the firearm in his hand. That firearm matches the firearm that was photographed by DHS, saying that it was Mr. Preddy's firearm, and then that's when you hear the shots fired.
President Trump says Minnesota Governor Tim Walz reached out to him, and the president said of their conversation, it was a very good call, and we actually seem to be on a similar wavelength. I told Governor Walz that I would have Tom Homan call him, referring to the border czar whom the president has sent to Minneapolis to directly oversee operations there. Governor Walz posted that the call with Trump was productive and said he told the president that we need to reduce the number of federal agents in Minnesota.
If Governor Walz and Mayor Frey implement these common-sense cooperative measures, CBP will no longer be needed to support ICE on the ground in Minnesota.
Washington divided tonight on how to respond to the killing of another U.S. citizen by federal agents, increasing the odds of a partial government shutdown later this week.
The way that this agency has been functioning is completely against every tenet of law enforcement.
A growing number of Democrats saying they will not vote for a government spending bill that includes DHS funding.
I'm not giving ICE or Border Patrol another dime, given how these agencies are operating.
and the political debate widening over the Second Amendment rights of gun owners, since local officials say Alex Preddy had a permit to carry his firearm. Groups like the Gun Owners of America defending the 37-year-old's right to bear arms while protesting, calling it a right the federal government must not infringe upon. Administration officials claiming that doesn't always apply.
You cannot bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest that you want. It's that simple.
But those rights don't count when you riot and assault, delay, obstruct, and impede law enforcement officers, and most especially when you mean to do that beforehand.
Today, more than 60 CEOs of Minnesota-based companies, including Target, Best Buy, and General Mills, signing on to a letter calling for an immediate de-escalation of tensions and for state, local, and federal officials to work together to find real solutions.
Monica joins us now from the White House. And Monica, Minnesota's governor wants President Trump to pull federal officers out of Minneapolis. But the president late today is making clear he is not backing off his immigration crackdown.
Not at all. A senior White House official telling me that the president plans to push forward with his immigration enforcement policy despite the growing backlash. And the president is making that clear in demands tonight for Minnesota's governor and the mayor of Minneapolis, blaming the Democrats and saying they must formally cooperate with the Trump administration and asking specifically for local police to assist federal agents on the ground.
Hey out there, this is Buzz with TheSurvivalBuzz. What is going on out there, man? This is not the America that I grew up in. What is going on? This is not Iran. This is not some other country. This is right here in the United States of America, right here in Minnesota. And yeah, maybe it's a blue-leaning state. I don't really even care, man, if it's red or blue or purple. I don't care. Our own government is tyrannical at this point. And they don't care about you or me, either one, man. I'm sick of the political divide. I so wish people would wake up from this nightmare and realize what's going on right in front of them. And I've heard all the stupid ass little cliche sayings, the FAFO, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I've heard all that nonsense. And it is nonsense. This isn't going to be a popular video, and I don't even care, man. But as far as I'm concerned, there are public executions going on in the streets of America now. Right under your great president, Trump. He's no better than Biden or Obama or any of them, man. They're all crooked. And as long as we keep checking the little boxes and voting for the chains of our own oppression, this stuff's going to continue. 250 years leading up to this point. This isn't America anymore. And there's no fixing it. There's nobody you can vote in that's going to fix all of this nonsense. Nobody. It's all crooked. It's all bought and paid for. The powers that be run all of this stuff behind the scenes. You got your little puppets out there like Trump, getting people all stirred up, trampling your rights away. Maybe they're not protesting for something that you like or I like, but it doesn't even matter, man. And now they're going to trample our Second Amendment rights. You better get close to your maker, and you better stay armed everywhere you go at this point. Because this country is falling apart. And it's only going to get worse now with talks of a government shutdown and protests going on, people dying every other day. They want you terrified. And pretty soon, once the digital world gets all connected, all these data centers and crap that I'm always talking about, once they completely militarize everything around you and monitor your every single move, even more than they already do, it's over. This country is falling apart. There's no fixing it. There's no way to vote our way out of this. You guys stay vigilant out there. You stay armed and you protect yourselves and your family. And you pray to God every day for protection. God bless y'all. I'll catch you on the flip side. Later.